Today I will be showing you how I got my nails from this to this. Stay tuned if you would like to know. So here today I'm showing you everything that I use, all the products. What I use for my nails is the GH Dipping Powder Starter Kit. Not all these products came with the kit. Some of them were sold I bought separately, and the products that I brought separately, some of them came in a kit as well, which I will be linking in the description bar below. So you'll see everything that I use in this process to do the dipping powder. So we are going to be starting with these raggedy nails. And to start us off, I will be using the nail wipes, which you see here. And these are what they look like, the size. You can also see how rather thin they are, but very durable, not easy to tear apart. I'll be starting off with 2 wipes per nail. You see me combine them to here. And then next I will be using acetone to soak the wipes in. And you really want to wet those wipes with the acetone. The more the better. The more acetone that you use, the better the product will come off your nail. So here I break out the nail clamps, which you use to hold down the wipes on the nail. This will secure the acetone soaked wipe on your nail, so that way it keeps it close and penetrates the polish. So I have to say, doing this on myself was a bit of a challenge, but I made it through. It is doable. You'll have a little bit of trouble, but you'll get it all done. So see, here you are, all the clamps on, all the wipes on. So here I took one of them off, and I'll be using nail filer, to brush off some of that gel polish. You don't want to brush too hard, because you'll end up damaging your nail bed, and that's something you don't want to do. That's how your nails get weaker. You want them to stay strong. So just be careful while you're brushing off that nail gel that you're not also brushing down that nail bed as well. So you see here what it starts to look like. And I'm going to be taking them all off. I've only had them on so maybe about 15 minutes or so. And you can see some of them get stuck on my nail, which you can just add more acetone to loosen that up and get it off your nail. This is a little tool that I use to help pull the gel off. I've had a lot of stuff on my nails, which is why it's so difficult to get off. I've had gel polish, dip powder, everything, nail glue, so I needed to do a little bit more work to get the stuff off my nails. You can see here that I'm using 3 layers now instead of 2, and I'm going to go ahead and soak that and then fold it on my nail so it kind of doubles down there. And what that is going to do is really help to soak the nail with the acetone so it comes off the nail next time around. So I'm taking it off. Also, I will recommend a really good acetone that really helped when I took off the gel the next time around. So I'll link that in the description bar below. But you can see here it slides right off the second time around. Again, I had a lot of junk on my nails, so you know, I had to go the extra mile here. And there you have it. Look how clean that is. Minimal damage to my nail bed, so that's good. Here I'm going to prepare my nails for the dip powder by filing and shaping it. And you can see how long my nails grew from using the dip powder. It hardens, the dip powder hardens on top of your nails, so when you use like a nail hardener, it protects your nails so your nail can grow. So, and it's just a teensy bit weak, but not much. My nails for the most part stayed strong. And here I am cleaning out my nails. Sorry about the focus. My camera sometimes needs an extra little time. And then I'm going to use the other end of the tool to push back my cuticles. This is going to help you to get a nice clean manicure when you apply the polish. I'm going to put that away. And we next are going to buff the nail bed. So you can see it has multiple filing systems on there, and I am going to be using step 6 nail buffer. As you can see, I'm using a different filer just to get some of the leftover gel polish, just small areas where there was just some leftover or overlooked gel that didn't come off. The dip powder case that you can put the powder in. So here we go. And this system is preferred because it does angle. It comes off on an angle, so when you dip your powder in, it's supposed to help you get the powder fully onto the nail. But as you can see, I have some trouble with that. So I am applying step 1. All of the bottles are labeled, so it's easy to follow the directions. So step 1 will be the base polish. And then after you apply that, you're going to dip it into the powder, and you see here where I have some difficulties and I have to push the powder onto the nail, which is not really supposed to happen. I use my brush to brush away the excess powder, and you want to be very careful around the cuticles. And then you can see here, it's a little blurry, but you can see here the first layer. So as I was saying, when you put the base polish on, you want to be careful around the cuticles, because if you get it on the cuticle and you dip your nail in the powder, then the powder would attached to wherever the base is. So it will result in a kind of like a messy look. You don't want that. You want everything on the nail bed. So you see here, and you don't want to use a lot of product. Just the right amount to cover the nail. And that's why it's so important to push back the cuticle as well. And also, you want to be careful on which surface you use this on. I would definitely suggest putting a mat down or newspaper or anything to protect your desk, because as you'll see, it gets pretty messy and my desk does stain due to the dip powder falling on it. Alright, so I'm going back in with a second coat. You can do up to 2 or 3. They don't recommend you doing more than 3 layers. Typically you only need about 2 because it gets pretty thick on the nail. As you can see, there's a little bit on the cuticle as I was talking about before. It's kind of hard because once it's there, it's pretty much there unless you use a nail filer to brush it off. But that's why it's so important not to get your cuticle. It's going to look a little bit powdery. That's the expected outcome when you're at this point in the process. There you can tell I need a second coat and could have been a little bit more careful on that cuticle, but still looks really good. Here you can see that there was a small space that didn't get enough powder on it. So what you can do is just apply that base polish onto that area again and then just dip that area in the powder again, and it should be just fine after that. I got tired of that that tray, so I put all the dip powder back into the jar, and I've decided to just dip my nail in the jar instead of the tray. It just wasn't effective for me, so as you can see here, super easy. I just dip it in and I dip it out and you still get the same result. It's just as good. And you can also double dip as well without having to put the base powder on. It really just is your preference. The instructions say to apply the base, then dip, and then apply the base again, and then dip. But you can just apply the base and dip 1 or 2 times, and then, you know, if you feel the need to apply another base and dip again, that's up to you. What I look for is to make sure that all the areas are covered fully, nothing looks see-through. And this is what it looks like all together. So here I am preparing for the next 2 steps. I say the next 2 steps because you're going to be using them at the same time consecutively, which is one after the other. So you can see here what it looks like so far. It looks pretty good, right? I am definitely impressed. I'm terrible at doing my nails, and so the fact that I've got it to look like this so far, I'm like sold. So number 2 is the activator, and number 3 is the top coat. You are going to use that to not together, but consecutively, like right after the other. So you can see here, first you are going to apply the activator. It's less like a polish and more like a liquid. And then right after, you're going to go in with that top coat. You do not want to wait for the activator to dry completely on top of your nails. You want to go right in there as soon as possible. And you go ahead and you apply that top coat. And that top coat is what's going to give it its shine, as you can see here. So I'll do that again. Activator. This one, you don't have to be so precise. You can just, polish the nail any old kind of way. And then apply that base coat. And then that's when you're going to be a little bit more precise, because you don't want it all over your fingers and stuff like that. And also I want to add, which is very important, please do not add or apply a lot of the base coat. You want to go in as thin as possible, but not too thin, just enough to make sure that it covers the nail. But if you go in too thin, the thicker the polish will be on the nail, and it starts to look lumpy a little bit, and it takes much longer to dry. So you just want to be careful with that. So you're going to apply just the base coat, step 3, on the nails once more. And after that, you have these beautiful dip powder gel nails. This again will last you up to 3 weeks. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think, or if you have any questions, I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.